Overtraining, burnout, and exhaustion are not signs of discipline. They're signs of a broken system. We talk a lot about working hard and putting in effort. So today I want to take some time to talk about why rest is just as important as effort. Let's dive in. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Unbreakable Parents Podcast. I'm your host, Devante, and today we are out in beautiful Mother Nature. So if you hear some birds, if you hear some cars, I apologize. I do have the background sound thing on the microphone, but if it picks it up, you're here with me. We're on a journey. I'm actually waiting to pick my youngest son up from school, and I figured, hey, y'all don't deserve to have any missing episodes, so let's get this thing done because I got school and some other business stuff to get to when I get home. So without further ado, we're here to talk about why rest is so important. As you heard in the intro, if you're dealing with exhaustion, if you're dealing with burnout, if you're feeling overtrained, they're not signs of you being disciplined. Trust me, I used to think the same thing. I used to think, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I feel overtrained, like I'm just drained most of the time. Like I was like, okay, cool. Like at least I'm putting in the work to do what needs to be done for the family, right? And I get it. Sometimes there's gonna be times where that's needed, right? I get that. I'm not saying that you gotta feel amazing every single second of the day. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. I get that. But our goal is to strive to feel the best that we can possibly feel. And if you are constantly feeling overtrained, broken down, and just really feeling exhausted overall, we need to change some things up and make a more unbreakable system for you. So let's talk about it really quick. I don't have much time today. So within this core discussion, I really do want to start with why rest is a growth tool. Now, the first thing we want to think about is physical recovery, right? If you're trying to build muscle, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to just do exercise and feel better mentally, right? You need rest. Like your body needs to be able to rebuild. I'm going to tell you right now, it does not happen in the gym. It does not happen when you put in those 40 grams of protein after a workout. It does not happen after you go for that crazy run and burn a bunch of calories. It's not when growth is happening. It's happening when you're sleeping. So I really want you to all take physical recovery into mind and be like, okay, all right, Coach Devante, I hear you. If I really want to see change within my life, whether that's mentally, physically, even emotionally, and we're talking about health and fitness, you're trying to change nutrition things, you're trying to change training modalities, whatever it might be, decision making and making the right decision is also way easier when you have proper rest. And that kind of takes me into mental clarity, right? Like it's shown time and time again, if you don't have proper sleep at night and proper rest, averaging that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, we're probably going to start to notice some diminishing returns on the end of, I guess not diminishing returns, we're not doing much to give to ourselves, but we're going to start noticing a negative effect to our clarity in our mind. We don't want to be gunked up, not being able to call upon words, and ultimately struggling just to get through the day. Like that sucks. I've been there a lot through podcasting and stuff. I'll stumble across words here and there quite a bit. That's more so because my brain's running at like a million miles per minute most of the time. But we want to think about, okay, if I'm trying to change the way I'm doing things, if I know that the system I have now is broken and I need to create a more unbreakable system, I need to do something different. Well, probably be wise to have some mental clarity going into that process, because guess what? If you don't, decision making is going to be a lot harder. Your patience with kids at home and everything, yo, I mean, I don't got to tell you all. I'm sure you've experienced it before where you got 4 or 5 hours of sleep and then maybe the kid like knocks over the milk in the morning with breakfast. And it's like World War II, baby, let's go. Like I'm going to war right now. Like no one needs that. You don't need that. Your kids don't need that. They don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You deserve all to have the best of you. So get some mental clarity by making sure you're getting your rest. And also too, think about this. To be truly unbreakable, we have to be some resilient ass humans. You cannot be somebody who's just gonna break down at the first sign of something that's scary or hard and difficult. Like, you have to be resilient in those moments, and it's so much harder to be resilient if you don't have mental clarity. All right? If you're feeling like, okay, well, what do I do then? Don't worry, we'll talk about next steps, but just remember this main part when it comes to the mental clarity thing. You can get this clarity throughout the day as well. Like, just take 5 minutes for yourself to go do some deep breathing. Oh, that's dope. There's a big woodpecker right over there hitting up this light pole right now. That thing is huge. That's cool. But take 5 minutes in your day, get some deep breathing in, take some time just to really relax your mind and try to just figure out, okay, what is making me feel this way? Okay, lack of sleep. Okay, cool. I know that's an issue. We'll fix it tonight. What can I do right now? Like, start to think about those things and be strategic about how you can start to feel better. Speaking of feeling better, what feels better than having amazing energy? That's another reason why rest is a growth tool. If you are the person who feels exhausted, drained, burnt out every single day, if you're that parent who's waking up and just already dreading the day at the start of the day before the kids are up and breakfast isn't even at the table yet, this one's for you, okay? I want you to think of a high-performing athlete, okay? No, we're not NBA players. No, we don't play in the NFL. I do skateboard, but I'm not a pro. So what am I trying to say? Well, high-level athletes, high-performing athletes, they recover hard as hell. If you look at LeBron James, you look at any Tom Brady, pick any of the biggest names in any of the sports, go look at their recovery routine. No, Devante, well, I don't do all that. No, I'm not expecting you to spend $1 million a year on your recovery. It's not what I'm expecting at all. And I don't do that. I don't have the money to do that. Nowhere close. So what am I trying to say? Well, I do consider myself a damn high-performing parent. That's it right there. I am a high-performing parent every single day of my life. That will not go away till the day I'm in the ground. And I hope that I'm such a high-performing parent that even goes on after I'm gone. Okay, so if you, and I know if you're listening, you are a high-performing individual. Every parent is. Like, if you are a parent listening to this and you don't think you're high-performing, get it out your mind right now. Because if you are taking care of your kids, you care about what you're doing every single day to try to improve yourself, you're really paying attention to them, like, you're high-performing. Like, you're doing what's needed on that level. So please start to treat yourself just like these high-performing athletes would out on the field, out on the court, out on their boards. You know what I'm saying? My skateboarders out there. But for real, like, take that into consideration, please, and run with it. Like, you are all high-performing. Like, I know you are. So start treating yourselves like it. Right? You're gonna gain energy. You will not deal with those energy crashes, feeling depleted and overtrained or just exhausted anymore. If you can start to focus on the reason why you should focus on rest more. Like, I think, okay, cool, I need 30 minutes more, hour more of sleep, whatever. Okay, that's great. But unless you can hold on to why rest is a growth tool, the physical recovery aspect, the mental clarity aspect, and the energy boosting aspect of rest, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do those things. Because we have to make a new habit very, very attractive. Shout out to Atomic Habits. I'm totally blanking on the name of the author right now, but shout out to that book. That's where I kind of got that from. And it's true. Like, you have to make a new habit attractive so you actually go and chase after it. That's how I would make it attractive for myself. That's how I did it. I was like, okay, cool. I probably should at least start getting 6 hours of sleep because I was like a 4-hour sleep night type of dude. Happens sometimes right now, right? I'm a full-time student and the kids and the business and all that stuff. I could be a little bit better at time management. I'm getting better, but things happen. I get it. But on the average, I try to get 6 hours of sleep. What I started noticing was my mental clarity started getting a lot better. And then I was able to make better decisions, which led me to doing better training methods, which then led me to feeling better overall, which also led me to feeling more tired at night, being able to get to sleep, get more rest than 6 hours. And then now I had amazing energy and I'm at where I'm at today. There you go. Like, just hold on to that and make it attractive for yourself to also run with it. I want to see all you achieve. Okay. So let's talk about this really quick. The 3 types of rest parents need. I got to go over this next stuff quickly because I got to get jetting out to pick my kid up. But here it goes. The 3 types of rest all of us parents need. First, active recovery. I'm sure you've heard this word before, and it's exactly what it sounds. We're actively recovering. Well, what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, it just means we're not doing anything at too high, not at, where's my words today? That's actually my 5 hours of sleep coming in right there, real time. Not gonna lie, I was up super late doing school. Now, active recovery is essentially gonna be when you are doing something throughout the day, moving the body, but it's very, very, very low level. There is no effort going into this other than the effort of feeling good and moving your body. It could look like walking. It can look like stretching. It can even look like a bike ride, right? If it's not high intensity and you love riding your bike and you ride your bike a lot and it's not something new for you, that's also active recovery, right? So I think there's a lot of different ways. Like me, I would go skateboard on my active recovery days. I might not go jump downstairs and go do all that crazy stuff, but I will go push around. Maybe I'll go pump around at the park, do some transition skating. So hitting the half pipes and all that stuff feels really good on my active recovery days. And here's why. It's going to help get that blood pumping. It's going to help the joints and all the fluid that needs to move throughout your body in this recovery phase happen, right? If we just sit still, the body actually has a harder time building muscle. It has a harder time wanting to burn that fat because it's really just not getting told that signal. It's not being told, hey, although we had a hard training session or I'm, dieting right now, I still need to be up and moving and just getting about life, which would be walking around and maybe mobility work and stretching if if it's cold outside and stuff. I'm in Minnesota. So that would be the active recovery side. The next side would be the mental rest, right? Reduce that mental clutter. I like to look at this actually more so as mental debt. So think about this. Who wants to be in a crazy amount of debt? Nobody. So if you think about it like that, I think it becomes a lot easier to start to acquire more mental credit. Now, I would suggest schedule downtime to achieve this. Like I was saying when I was talking about mental clarity, right? You don't need to do necessarily the whole hour-long meditation and do all this crazy stuff. Like just set 5 minutes aside throughout the day, or set a little bit longer time aside, maybe before bed, to just really sit down, unwind, and maybe even have some type of journaling practice or something that helps you get out those thoughts a little bit better so they're no longer up here, they're out in the world, and you can continue going on about your day and feeling really good. I like the technique Peaches and Pit. Shout out to Kyle Baxter. That pretty much is you pick 3 peaches, 3 good things that happened to you that day and why they happened, and then maybe how you can replicate it for the next day. Not always the case, but sometimes it is. And then you have 1 peach that you're allowed to pull, or 1 pit that you're allowed to pull on. The 1 pit is going to be the one thing you're not very happy about that happened that day. And then same thing, why did it happen? How can we stop it from happening tomorrow? That's just one little thing I like to do in my unwinding time, or if I have a moment in my day and I just feel really overwhelmed, and I take that 5 minutes. Now, sleep optimization, right? Like sleep is huge. I actually have a free sleep guide. Shoot me an email. My email is down in the description. I just don't know by the time if I have this episode up if my website will be launched with it. So hit up the email in the description if you want a free in-depth guide on sleep with really good coaching, actionable steps for you to take. I'm just going to refer you there. But just know you don't have to start crazy, right? Like I would always suggest going for the lowest hanging fruits, which would mean the easiest thing to grab onto first, which would be your bedtime. No, don't go being like, oh, I'm going to go to bed an hour or 2 hours earlier. Start with 10 minutes. Go get in bed 10 minutes earlier. Like, just start somewhere and start stacking wins, right? That's another thing that we got to learn to do. And I really had to learn to do this, was how do I achieve these huge goals I have, but then like make these smaller goals, these micro goals along the way, right? And that's a great way to do it. Is just, all right, 10 minutes. All right, cool. I did that for a week. Let's go 30 minutes earlier. Cool. I did that for a week. Let's go an hour earlier. Boom. Now I'm at that 7 hours. I'm feeling bomb, right? So something of that nature. And then maybe going like blue blocker glasses. I wear those a lot at night, especially early mornings when it's still kind of dark outside. I wear those all the time. I have the amber ones, so it's actually like kind of changes stuff a little bit. You can spend more money if you want to, but mine were like $10 on Amazon, and they work really, really well. That's probably the two lowest hanging fruit things you can do. And then, yeah, I'm not even going to get into supplementation and all that stuff, because that's a little bit, not going to do that today. Now, how to incorporate rest without feeling lazy. I think this is the important thing, because if you are, which I know you are, a high performing parent, you got a lot to do. And when you allow yourself to, do that typical lay down, rest, maybe watch a Netflix show all damn day on a Saturday, you feel lazy, right? And that's not what we're trying to achieve. We want to feel amazing while we're resting. So just reframe it at first, right? So mental is always key. Reframing things is going to help you be able to be okay doing them, right? Like, sometimes we have to reframe and be like, okay, cool. Like, although this is hard, it's my recharge time. I'm not resting, I'm recharging. Like I said, you don't have to be sitting on your butt, right? Sit down, relax, watch a movie with the kiddos, like do that type of stuff, do a puzzle, like that stuff's awesome. But get up, move your body, incorporate that active rest component, right? Just go for a walk, move, shoot for still those 8,000 steps on your rest day. And then I would say set non-negotiables. I would go first, attack sleep, set up a non-negotiable, like I was saying, like, hey, non-negotiable, like go to bed 10 minutes earlier, okay, whatever my bedtime is. Let's say my bedtime is usually 11 p.m. All right, cool. I'm going to go to bed at 10:50 every single night, non-negotiable, boom. And then we try to stack upon that non-negotiable until we're at 7 hours. Now my non-negotiable for myself is I will sleep 7 hours a night, and that doesn't change. And if you build it up like that, trust me, it will stay that way. Yeah, you'll have the nights where you have fun with the kids and all that other stuff, like cool. But you will go right back to those 7 hours because you've now built this up for a little duration of time. And then digital detox, baby. Get rid of the blue light. Get rid of the tablets. I'm not going to throw it. Get rid of, got you. Get rid of the phones. Turn the TV off. And I get it. Like, me and my wife like to sit down. We love to watch stuff at night together. It's really the only time we have throughout the day, unless we have date night. And sometimes it's only for a half hour or so. And I like to do that. So that's where those blue blockers come into play. And actually, I start wearing them more so as soon as the sun starts going down, because of the lights coming down from above, and then just all over the house. There's blue light everywhere. I don't have like red lights throughout my house. You can do that if you want to. I won't, because I have a lot of guests at my house. But we do have like the more yellow light, 800 lumens is what I kind of shoot for. It's like the lowest that you can really get on the market, unless you go red light. But that's where the blue light blocker glasses come in, right? Like, get rid of the digital stuff at night. Start picking up a real book. Read a real book. Like, I honestly, like, it's hard for me right now because I'm in college, and I'll do a lot of my reading on my pad, but I need to get away from that even at night and do it more during the day and transition back to my book at night. Speaking of which, I'll probably start that today. I have some Spanish to do anyway, so let's finish up the podcast so I can go get my kiddo. Like I said, real quick, just to recap that, how to incorporate rest without feeling lazy, reframe it, change rest to recharging. It's your recharging time. Set some non-negotiables. Maybe you start with the micro goal, build upon that micro goal until it is the big non-negotiable. And then digital detox at night. I always suggest about an hour before bedtime, getting away from that stuff. If you can do it sooner, awesome, good for you. I always shoot for an hour, if I'm being a good boy, I guess. Now, this week, I want you to focus on one area of rest, whether that's the active side of it, the mental side, or the sleep side, and let me know how it helps. shoot me a DM. Everything you need to get a hold of me is down in the comments, down in the show notes. So please let me know how you're doing. Let me know in the comments if you're on YouTube watching this. What did you choose? How is it going? I want to make sure you feel supported throughout this. And that's it for today's podcast, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. You know what? Continue being unbreakable, my friends. I'll see you next time.